Now, Iran at the moment appears to be dialing down a little bit when it comes to the tension with its neighbors. Iran basically has issued an apology to the surrounding countries. The United States is hinting at a major, potentially devastating attack on Iran. The conflict is showing no sign of slowing down. Israel basically is raiding inside Lebanon. That war is also another front which has been opened, is continuing in in this bulletin, the war threats, the apologies, and obviously the continuing strike, the region on edge. That's going to be a top focus. First of all, talking about Iran, which is signaling a possible pause in regional escalation. Now, in a significant statement, Iran's president basically has apologized to the neighbors. Iran has vowed that they will not be attacking the neighbors. Now, Tehran today claimed that they never intended to invade or target its neighbors, despite the ongoing hostilities when it comes to the Israel or the United States of America. We have a breaking news coming in, viewers, after Iran basically apologized to its neighbors when it comes to the US President Donald Trump. He has now reacted sharply, claiming vindication for the ongoing US campaign. Trump basically has claimed that Iran has effectively surrendered to its neighbors, saying that the country had been beaten to hell, quote unquote, by the United States. Trump also asserted that Iran is no longer the bully of the Middle East and went on to call Tehran the loser of Middle East. Trump further warned that Iran could face fresh strikes, saying that the country will be hit hard today, signaling the possibility of further escalation when it comes to the ongoing conflict. That obviously entire post which we just read out of President Donald Trump, where he is saying that Iran has been beaten to hell. In fact, when it comes to that particular apology by Iran, Trump basically saying that when it comes to Iran, quote unquote, calling Iran the loser of Middle East. Now, that obviously is a big statement when it comes to President Donald Trump. He's also teased that there could be a big retribution coming Iran's way today. Now, Trump basically saying that Iran is no longer the bully of the Middle East. They are instead the loser of the Middle East. Taunting Iran, Trump obviously seems to be escalating, obviously, the war of words also further. Now, between that war of words, viewers, remember, US is signaling a major escalation of its war. Right now, it's President Trump, whose post we just read, where he says that there can be a big retribution coming today. It's a big warning which had come from the US earlier Treasury Secretary. I'm talking about Mr. Scott Bessent, who had said that the largest round of strike on Iran could possibly take place tonight. According to Mr. Bessent, the upcoming operation could be the biggest US bombing campaign so far, which is aimed at inflicting maximum damage on Iran's military capabilities. He has said that the strikes will be focusing on destroying Iranian missile launchers and factories that produce them, as Washington basically intensifies its military pressure on Tehran. We have Arasan Singh, author, joining us. We also have Mr. Pramod Shulani, strategic affairs expert, with us. Mr. Singh, if I could come to you first. US seems to be teasing, a big move tonight, saying that they are going to be raining missiles and bombs on Iran. Do you think that the war has entered now a decisive turn, with Iran also now toning down, dialing down a little bit, at least when it comes to its neighbors?
Yes, the statement from the president is very, very significant. Some people are saying that, the president does not matter as much as the IRGC. But even if that be the case, this statement puts the president at odds with the IRGC. Even if you consider the fact that, the real power wields with the IRGC. Remember, the real power with the IRGC was when when the Supreme Council was intact, but the Supreme Council itself is in disarray. So therefore, the statement by President is very, very significant. If they go ahead with targeting, well, the president, then the president's position is totally compromised. And then it will clearly show that there are deep divisions have occurred within the ranks. Three things I would like to, invite your attention to. I suspect that these ships that are docked in India and Sri Lanka, have they defected? It's a question we all need to answer, because if that was not the case, the Americans would have taken an umbrage over enemy warships giving, India and Sri Lanka giving shelter to enemy warships. That is one. The second, the ship Dana, which was, torpedoed, there are a lot of questions to be answered. Where did it disappear for, more than a week? And was it on some mischievous mission? That is another thing. And the third thing is that you saw the football team, the Iranian football team, not singing the national anthem. So anybody who has managed to be outside Iran at the moment is showing some kind of revolt or, disenchantment with the regime. So these are two, three things I would urge you and your viewers to consider. But yes, things seem to be changing thick and fast.
Well, absolutely. And, Mr. Brahmacharani, if you could come in here, we are obviously highlighting all the fast-paced developments. What do you see happening next? The war seems to be already in a decisive stage. The United States already signaling a major escalation. We heard what, the U.S. Treasury Secretary had to say, signaling and hinting that there could be a massive round of strikes which could take place tonight itself on Iran. What next? The war is already entering the 8th day. How long will this continue? What do you think is going to be the next stage of this war?
Okay, this decisive phase of the war, as it has been called, in other words, massive escalation. Can massive escalation actually produce victory? What does history show? The US has been involved in a series of major wars in the last 50 years. Strategic bombing on a large scale has never produced victory for the US. Look at the Vietnam War. In the Vietnam War, the US dropped more bombs on Vietnam than were used in all of World War II. The US caused great devastation in Vietnam. In just 2 weeks, heavy B-52 bombers, they dropped thousands of tons of ordnance on just Hanoi and Haiphong. Or take other examples. More recently, for example, the US bombing in Afghanistan over 20 years. Did that produce victory or defeat for the US? Or the NATO's air war in Kosovo in 1999? Or the war the US launched in Iraq, and it occupied Iraq for a long time. Did that bombing campaign produce stability, or did the US leave Iraq as a failed or a semi-failed state? The reason why escalation often fails is because of some factors that the present administration in Washington refuses to understand. One is regime resilience. Authoritarian systems can survive enormous physical damage. Iran's political system is a multi-layered elite and security apparatus capable of maintaining control even under heavy bombing. Second factor is nationalist backlash. This kind of heavy bombing,
right,
what happens is that it only legitimizes hardliners and it suppresses the moderates and the pragmatic factions.